the House Committee on Unladylike Activities.
What I've done is made beauty. You say,
good morning. Here we are in the CCTV archives. Travis Washington, Chris Lavalette, and crew have been holding it down all night long. We have behind the camera now Josiah and Aubrey. And I think I saw Miles here wandering around, also recording. And Travis is still there behind the board. So good morning, everyone. And we are here in the CCTV Archives closet. This is what we have been fundraising for all night long with the 24-hour telethon. Some great programming. You can always, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can always scroll back, I think, and watch what was going on last night. I'm going to start walking you through and just read you some of the titles of what's in the archives. And if you hear something that you want to see, it may be digitized. So we have here shelves and shelves of archival tapes. I'm not sure how the framing is. I'm going to walk up here. I'm actually going to walk up here and flip this around, and then I'll see what the framing is so you can see. So that's the archival tape, and you'll see it says there dig and a little red dot. And the red dot, I think, was Nat's. And the dig is ours, meaning it has been digitized, and it may or may not be available online yet, but it means that we have saved this tape. And then there are numerous other tapes. What number is this? This is number 231. So let's find that and put that back on the shelf where it belongs. This is DC number 2, C-SPAN and the White House. So this is an interview that Lauren Glenn and Nat did with Brian Lamb, the founder of C-SPAN. And in large part, CCTV is modeled in its gavel-to-gavel coverage of municipal meetings after C-SPAN, as well as events and community happenings. But I was going to find you another tape here. Here's one, for example, CCTV Wednesday, November 8th, 1989, 2 hours and 2 minutes, and it does not have a little red sticky, and in fact, it says bad. And bad means that it probably can't be digitized. This is called the Disability Speak Out. It's an hour and 57 minutes and 26 seconds. So again, if you are able to watch and you are able to call in at 802-862-3966 and you hear the name of a title, here's a tape. CCTV Saturday, 2/20/93, 2 hours and 36 minutes. The spine has faded. I can see Clavel PSA. Clavel press conference, newsreels, Clavel press conference from February 18th, Clavel PSA. So this is all when Peter Clavel was mayor of Burlington. Tape 699. Tape 698 is missing. It's probably in the digitization flow. So we decide on digitizing tapes depending on the order, depending on if people call to have them digitized and ask us to use them. Carol Browner visits Burlington. Oil tank shots next to barge canal shots. So before the waterfront is the way it is now. There was a plan to build on the waterfront. And then there were citizens who fought to make sure that if you're going to build on the waterfront that you preserved large amounts of open space. So it was a big fight and a big win for the city of Burlington. The oil tanks were taken down. That's what I think we have as we call it the North 40. It's that big open area of land that the bike path wends its way through, and the bike path was moved over to the lake side. And then the barge canal, of course, is on the other end of town. So I don't know where these oil tanks, if these are the oil tanks near the barge canal or oil tanks that I'm thinking of in the North 40. Right next to that is the Burlington City Council from 1993. We saved some municipal meetings from back in the day, but all municipal meetings and all of the coverage that we did was on VHS tape. And that VHS tape at the time was cost prohibitive. It was expensive. And so we needed to make sure that we were, we still had enough tape to keep recording things. So we would record over tapes. And at that time, some of the municipal meetings were recorded over, but we kept large portions of them or would give them to the municipalities. This is the dedication of the Champlain Water District. This is water treatment facilities, zebra mussel press conference. So this must have been at the beginning of the zebra mussel infestation on the lake. Tape 1957, that has been digitized. Raising emus in Vermont, a subject. There was a period of time that the Vermont Commissioner of Agriculture would come in, and he made some programming that was pretty intense and interesting about his work wandering around Vermont. Famous program on the castration, how to castrate your own bulls. Howard Chapel renovations. Fire department interviews. Sanders CVR press conference. Vermont Cares Fire. CHC new location ceremony. So the community health center. I don't know where it moved from, and I don't know if this is 1994. It's probably moving to its new location down the street. So that is a ceremony honoring that. And then live at 5:25 with Chief Scully, then Police Chief Scully, July 13th, 1994. Public hearing, Burlington, 1995, on the budget. So what was Burlington thinking about the city budget in 1995? Oh, that's in my handwriting. Fascinating. Live, Remigio and Tiger, Puerto Cabezas. So Remigio and Tiger are a couple of folks. Burlington has a sister city relationship with Puerto Cabezas, Nicaragua, and Remigio and Tiger are some musicians that live there. And that program, I'm guessing we may have done either a live, 1995, were we doing a live stream? Probably not. It was probably playing back some recording of them, probably from Dan Higgins. Dan Higgins is a co-founder of CCTV. I'm going to go back to the back of the closet and we will start reading some of the tapes in this back corner and see what we have. And again, if you're watching or you want to call 802-862-3966, I can play back many things from the archives. This whole corner, I will read things that say digitized on them. So let's see. The top has not been digitized much, but here, a whole pile of Channel 17 live shows. This tape, Channel 17 live shows from 1990, and it just has the dates listed. October 25th, October 26th, October 29th, October 30th, October 31st, November 1st, November 2nd, November 5th, November 6th, November 7th, November 8th, and November 9th, 1990. I don't know how you get that many tapes. It must have been recorded in long play. For those who don't know, you could record in long play and slow play or standard play, and you could either get 2 hours of programming on a tape or 6 hours of programming on a tape. But the 6 hours would have been sort of lower quality. Act 200 public hearing, tape number 2 of 3, raw and edit. Because again, you could only get about 2 hours of programming. So if a meeting went for 6 hours, that would be 3 tapes. I can't even imagine how many. Mayor's Youth Public Forum from 1991. What is 242 Main? That's tape number 959, 2 hours and 2 minutes. How do we get that extra 2 minutes on there? I think you had a little wiggle room. VNRC Transportation Forum, Vermont Natural Resources Council Transportation Forum from 1992. Inside the State House, number 2. So that was a program done about the Vermont legislature and the Williston Select Board candidates from 1992. We've been doing election forums almost since Town Meeting TV began. For those that don't know, CCTV was started in 1984 and then began the government access channel for this region in 1990. And that was then known as Channel 17. It's how a lot of people still know about us. And now we have changed ourselves to Town Meeting TV from Channel 17. I'm looking at 1990. CCTV, no, I'm looking at 1985. CCTV Video Dance Night, September 26, 1985. And then to the left of that, Howard Mental Health Opening. Hokie Interview on Bright Street. Old Garbage Building, Pine Street. Pat Peterson Interview. CCTV Dance Promo. And Nat on 22. I think that some of that is in the, I don't know if anybody in the control room is listening, but I could really use a tissue. I didn't realize that I would need a tissue. Step Up Roundtable. Bernie speaks at 44, Paradise. Grandmothers, Children's Book Awards, Star Farm Nursing Home. Christmas Tree, North Street Lights. Mike Bernhardt, Short Talk. Alexander Coburn at Contoys. Maynard Glitman and Dot Chart, Street Worker Interviews. Oh, interesting. Mac V's Perfect Gift. Mac V, I think, was an activist. Joe Inzatari Interview. I don't know who those folks are. Williston Planning Commission. I'm going to be right back. You stay here. Oh, there's a phone call coming in. Hold on. Oh, let's answer the call. Oh, missed it. Nope, there we are. Hello, you're on the air.
Hi, how you doing? I'm really interested in the archives that I've seen you display so far, and I was just wondering if you had anything community-based by chance, or anything focused on the central Vermont. Yeah, I want some stuff on the Ramble.
You want to see some programming on the Ramble. Well, I can't find it by looking in...
I heard this one actually happening today, but, I mean, I don't know. I want to see what it looked like before I get involved in this one.
Sure. The Ramble is the Old North End Ramble. Let's go to... I'll meet you over in the archive. I'll meet you over in the studio, okay? Join me over in the studio, and we will... we'll find some programming on the Ramble, okay? You are watching today, July 26, 2025. We are doing this today in conjunction with the Old North End Ramble. It's a huge party around the Old North End. There'll be roller skating and pottery sales and barbecues and dance parties and yard sales and a fair. Juntiques will be having things, Decatur Fest down on North Street. And we are doing this today, the Old North End, the telethon, in conjunction with the Old North End Ramble. And so I just went to the CCTV website and I put in Ramble. And I have a lot of programming from us. But let's click on here, randomly here, 2020-12, the Old North End Ramble, and see what we get. How are you getting audio?
That's how I got to Memphis. That's how I got to Memphis. I know if you see her, you'll tell me 'cause you are friends. I got to find.
It's Brett Hughes. And I don't know if you can hear me, but this was recorded by
These are handmade by myself.
Sean.
Late into the night last night. They've got beans in them, a little special spicy mixture, and oats. And we actually put out the recipes as well, because one of our goals is to have people, grow everything in their garden and be able to put it together into a meal. And so yeah, we try and mimic that to help promote that type of ideal. So
That's Sean and Miles behind the camera.
And they're
Said
fun to
Sean
make.
just
It's
came
a
to his
yearly
house
thing.
to do lead testing.
not even work.
Which is, of course, how this
Plus we get a
community
few
rolls
for ourselves.
and how the archives roll. This was recorded by Henry Kine, then a volunteer intern who worked with us for years.
I'll never rest till I find out why she had to go.
And that's Jonathan getting his face painted.
Thank you for your precious time. Give me 5 stars. That's how I got to Memphis.
It's probably
That's how
copyrighted.
I got to Memphis.
There's Max Tracy wearing his Old North End jumper. And the One World Market, you can go see that today on North Street. And that's where we are, the North End Studios. That used to be where the International Craft Fair was held during the Ramble. Downstairs.
Sure, so today we're here at the One World Market.
There's Laura.
This is actually the 8th year this event has gone on. We moved from a parking lot outside the old CBOEO building and it's now here at North End Studios, which is a really nice space to be enclosed so that in case it rains, no problem. It's air conditioned, which is wonderful. And we have about 23 vendors here today, all different kinds of work. The idea behind the One World Market is to give people a chance to try out their products. You know, we have some established craft people here, but we also have people who've never done a show before. So it's very inexpensive to be a vendor here, and it gives you a chance to reach out to the community, to support artists and craftspeople in the Old North End. And I'm here with my work for Fun Beauty Studio. I make everything out of old recycled products, so if it's been discarded, I've probably made it into a planter, a bag, or some other household product.
Hello, my name is Steven. I represent Squirrel Pirate Apothecary. It's a small business of mine. I started up in November. I do soaps, hand salves, lotions, infused oils. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Tiffany, and my business is Crooked River Arts, and what I make is I make sculpture and jewelry out of clay, primarily high fire stoneware, though there are a bunch of different techniques that I use.
So I'm going to skip forward. I don't know, I'm hoping you can still hear me. I'm going to skip forward to some more, hopefully, outdoor shots. This is Decatur Fest 2012. And our friend Josiah is going to be taking us live to the Ramble later today. So hopefully we'll see some Decatur Fest 2025. Oh, that's Eli Statz, who was here last night performing, interestingly enough, as part of the Ramble, selling some of their early wares at the 2012 Old North End Ramble.
Wait, how much are the watermelons, Mom?
I'm just saying.
How much are the watermelons?
We used 20 cans of grape stuff to make that big foam thing on top. The paper mache.
Great. That's a good way to start a Saturday morning, is watching a 2012 Ramble, and hope that if you are watching now, you are going to get out there and ramble on with us, and you might stop over at the CCTV Town Meeting TV studios as part of your rambling, 294 North Winooski Avenue in Burlington, Vermont. And I think I'm just going to take this opportunity to look up Henry Prine and see if he is in the archives. So I'm going to go search using his name. Sometimes the archive's very specific. And there we have some 2009 CCTV 25th anniversary special. He's probably in that. Summer Camp Youth Media Makers. Let's see, 2013. Oh, that was the same year. Oh, this is an interview with Henry Prine, but not a video interview. Is that right? Yep. And then let's look at one more. These may be all things that he, this is a news item about Henry, who was nominated for the United Way's Hometown Hero Award. And he did a ton of work with us. And if, Henry, you're out there, we love you and miss you and appreciate all that you had done for the archives. So let's go back into the archives and see what other titles we can get, okay? So hopefully the control room can follow me there. And now I'm back. So let's start reading through some titles. This is one of the two closets that we have. This is the oldest closet. And just for fun, I'm going to take you up to the very first tape. They're in chronological order because Nat Eyre, who was our founder, one of our founders, along with Lauren Glenn Davidian, he and Nat was a consummate, I think that's the right word, archivist, cataloger, and the very first tape, which has been digitized. Let's says Nat's Access tape. That's the very first tape. Nat's Access edited tape. It's probably not the very first tape that Nat recorded, because he was already, before he met Lauren Glenn and Dan Higgins and crew and was brought into this wild and crazy project called CCTV, he was already recording things in the community. And there are a lot of things in here that involve his kids and involve things that he was involved with and interested in, or that Linda Eyre, his partner then, was also interested in. Political happenings, community happenings, jugglers, magicians, just anything that Nat was curious about, he seemed to go out and record. And when I met him was when I came to work in 1993 for Town Meeting TV as a field producer, I got to meet Nat and learn from him. Red Maple Holly, near 20 minutes. Burlington, this is... Oh, we've got a call. That's so exciting. Answer correctly. Hello, you're on the air.
Hey, Megan, this is Miles Jewell.
Oh, Miles, what a surprise. Good morning.
I know it. Good morning. How are you doing?
Good. What are you interested in about the CCTV archives?
Oh, are we getting a double call? Oh, it's a delay. I am interested in, I was watching the show, and you're talking about the early days. I'm curious how far back you can track yourself into the archives.
Oh, well, that would be, I think the earliest thing that I've seen in the archives is 1985. And I feel like you may have seen some of it because of course, Miles is working on a film about CCTV and community media in general. And so I think it's 1985. Nat was recording. I was part of the mayor's youth office, which was a program under Bernie Sanders to support youth. We actually had an office in City Hall, and that was why it was called the Mayor's Youth Office, MYO. And we ran a project called the Queen City Special newspaper. And it was my first intro to the world of community media making. I was the photography editor. But we also started, I was part of a dance troupe, and we started a dance troupe to perform in City Hall Park. Then the thought was, City Hall Park has always been a place where the city has struggled to make it welcoming and inviting, and they did programming. And the idea was, if you want people to come there and enjoy the park, make programming. And I, along with Selena Colburn and Rachel Siegel, started a group called Contrast to perform in City Hall Park. And Nat recorded some of that just in his out and about happenings. So it was even it was around it was 1995. Yeah, so it was before 1985. I'm sorry. Did that answer your question?
It did. And can I have a follow-up question?
Yes.
I'm curious. So if you can see footage like that of yourself, are there other treasured moments that you can place that are both maybe, of yourself or other happenings that you remember just as a community member, as opposed to being a person that worked at the station?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's hard to disaggregate, but just the other day I was like, oh, I know we recorded the Magicians Without Borders, and it happened to be one where my kiddo was about 3 years old and got up on stage, and I had recorded the performance as part of the work that we do here, recording things in the community. And so it was fun to look back and see that. And then that's a hard question to answer, except for this. This is the way that I answer it, and I'll see if I can think of a specific example. I don't think there is a conversation that I have with somebody who's involved in the community, and I don't think, oh, we have something like that in the archives. Or, oh, that person that you're talking about is in the archives. And it may be a short clip. One of the things that, is that sort of getting at what you're asking?
Yeah, totally.
And I'll think if there's a specific example, but one of the things that we're doing, I was involved with the Greens, the Vermont, the Burlington Greens, and Murray Bookchin was a thought leader, and I just looked over and I saw Bookchin at some point is on this tape, number 170. I don't know where he is, or if it's just maybe there's a clip of him on there somewhere. But things like that happen often. The fact that there are recordings of Murray Bookchin and an interview with Murray and Dan is really fascinating to me. Visuals of the waterfront before it was developed, because that is also interesting to me. And one of the things that dogs me, it's one thing that sort of chases me, is when things are happening and we're not out there recording it. We didn't get it, or things that may be missing. And so one of the things that we're going to be doing in the coming years, we have 2,000 tapes to digitize. Let's not forget, we're doing a telethon, and we're trying to raise money for CCTV archives, to save these archives. And so that's what we're here for. And so if you want to make a donation, you can make a donation to help support these archives. There are 2,000 VHS tapes left to digitize. It costs about $50 a tape, essentially, to digitize them and put them on air and save them in our backed up storage system. And eventually everything in these archives will be backed up to the Internet Archives as well. We have a pretty reliable, robust, redundant archiving system here for our digitized materials, but we also recognize that we want it to last beyond that, both for the kind of the unique perspective that it was from 1984 until the present day, but also ongoing. And then we want to invite folks who have material to put in the archives, to put that in the archives. So currently, for example, if you record something that's part of a demonstration or a parade or a protest or a lecture or a talk, you can come and get equipment to record it. Or if you use your own equipment, you can submit it to be part of the archives so that it will be there as part of the community experience and community story. Or, and we've had folks bring us tapes, bring us boxes of tapes. You can send us your tapes, or you don't just mail them in. You call us and talk to us. You can bring us tapes, and we will consider adding those to the digitization schedule as well. In some cases, when folks have brought us large boxes of tapes, they have supported us by paying for that digitization. And we've worked with folks, so there may be tapes back here that were given to us that we have added to our collection because we recognize there may be holes. There's no holes in Nat's collection because Nat's collection is Nat's collection, but there may be other pieces of the Burlington or Chittenden County or even Vermont experience that we want to include here. So David Littman, Contoys. Miles, are you still there? Did you have more that you wanted to, is there anything you want to see in the archives? Is there anything that has jumped out for you that is interesting and meaningful?
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of stuff. And I was just thinking of, either historic moments that, or shifts in time. So, for instance, you search Radio Bean and you might see a Speak Out, going back to 2001 when 9/11 happened, or, and that's when I was a first-year student at the University of Vermont. So it's really, it's definitely interesting to be able to kind of scratch around in there, and then all the things that you uncover, for instance, watching Exit Voices and seeing a friend, Eric Seitz, give an exit voice in 2011, who now is, he works for Pitchfork Farm, runs Pitchfork Farm. So all these intertextual moments of just keep uncovering people in these little snippets of time. And then in terms of something to see, I don't know what a good search word would be, but maybe something like Radio Beam, to see what has happened there over the years, or maybe giving people an idea of how they could search the archives. If you're going to go do a search, what would be good search terms? I know that you did ramble, but I'll free up the lines and hopefully somebody else can call in.
Thanks, Miles, and thanks for your attention, your continued attention to the archives and finding all these little bits and pieces. I'm going to read a few more.
This was just my way to get myself in the archive even more, too, just by the way. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. So that's Miles Jewell. He's working on a CCTV film about CCTV and community media. And as he said, I do feel a little like I'm living in the Matrix. A recursive universe where I've done Exit Voices. That's when we go to the polls on election day and we talk to community members. And one of the things that's really interesting is if you look at, we do them based on wards in Burlington, and we go to Winooski and South Burlington and Essex, and you can see some of the same people over time. It's strange that we're there for a short period of time, but we'll end up interviewing some of the same folks and these characters who emerge, and also that you can tell, sort of the quality of a community by the characters that emerge that speak to you. Pieces of the quality of the community. Shots of the meter maid. Nat on the news. Jane Driscoll press conference. I feel like I don't read enough of the titles that are up there, because when I come in here to look at them, I'm often looking at the ones that are down below. And we only have about 15 minutes left, so again, if you are watching this, 802-3966, and you can tune in and see us on air. 802, you can call in and you can ask for Sanders Campaign 1985, Spaghetti Dinner, Election Day, 1985. Rav Puppets, Art and Fashion, Pink Elephants, Basil, Electric Meetings, 1985, Poets for Bernie. Let's go look at this series of tapes. So there are a couple of ways to look things up, and we will go over to I'm going to take all three of these tapes down. They've all been digitized, so we're pretty careful about what happens with the tapes. We're pretty careful about how we handle these tapes. And we keep the tapes even after they've been digitized. We've got another call. That's so exciting.
We're pretty careful about what happens.
You could turn down your sound and then we'll hear you. Good morning. You're on the air.
Meg?
Hello. Is that Kristen?
Saying good morning, and I wanted to say I so appreciate these archives, and I hope people give money. Also, I'm not only because they are digitizing history, but they're creating history. I'm struck by all of the characters from the past 40 years that I recognize as being part of our community and also part of creating our history. So, and I just wanted to say I appreciate your font of incredible information and history around this town. If I have a question, I ask you, and I think part of that is because of the work you do at CCTV.
Thanks, Chris. Fangirl Chris. Chris is her own archivist as well. She's her own archivist of her community. And one of the things that we have to encourage you to do is send in recordings that you have made of things around, because you are always recording and telling stories. And then somehow, one of the things that we want to impress upon people is that we can't just rely on social media to keep our stories for us. And especially in the age of digital media, which is so much more ephemeral, like we have this closet full of tapes, right? Mm-hmm. They stay there. They're going to fall apart. We have to digitize them. But digitizing them isn't enough. You have to like catalog it, and you have to back it up, and you have to preserve it. And as you know, when you put things on your phone or you put things online, it just gets lost. 5 years later, you're like, where is that thing that I recorded? I know I got that thing. And you, as somebody who's made albums and albums and albums of physical media, I right, Chris? And you know, like, where are the things that you recorded 10 years ago?
Yeah, exactly. It's true. What else was I going to say?
No, it's a little early for a lecture about archives. But good. I've had my coffee, so.
Yeah. Are there going to be more performers playing today?
There is going to be a whole lineup of programming today. So we have community producers who are going to be in Lydia Diamond Tea Talks. Gary DeCarolis is going to come in at 9, and he does a program for the last couple of years called Celebrate Life, and he interviews people. He basically said, why am I learning about people from their obituary after they're dead? I want to bring people in and interview them, and he's going to be interviewing his wife today at 9 a.m. And then we will have Bruce Wilson, Art So Wonderful, interviewing his buddy Candace Owens. And then we have Tea Talks with Lydia Diamond. We have Miss Black Vermont is going to come in and do a cooking demonstration at noon. And I know there are other things that I can't remember. Thanks for calling, Chris.
All right. Love you. Bye.
Love you. Okay, I'm going to go over and see if we can't look up some of the titles that are on these 3 cassettes. I'm headed to the studio. Meet me there. 8 minutes. I thought I had till 7:30. That's okay. Here we go. I will take the last bit of time that I have to get with you all about these tapes. So we have 3 tapes here, tape number 42 and 41 and 43. And they have some keywords on them: Cookie Lady, Election Day, Art and Fashion Show. And you can use a keyword to do a search, but you can also use the date. If you know when something occurred, you can use the date. Or in our case, we could actually even use the tape number, although the tape number is so very specific that let's see if I type in tape 43, if I just type in 43 and search for 43, I should search for 42, shouldn't I? Let's see, I get a lot of things that have the 4 and the 3 in them, and that's not going to work for me. But let's go to the last and see if it, oh, whoops, there it was. There we go. Sanders for mayor, spaghetti dinner. Is it digitized? It is digitized. Look at that. It's a 50-minute program. And it was that's Huck, I think that's a picture of Huck Gutman. And I don't know if you can hear me at the same time, but here we are. That's Frank Hewitt dancing on the floor. He's an art professor at UVM who's passed away. Looks like some swing dancing going on.
Yeah, fine.
And Nat's trying to find a place to start recording. One of the things about Nat's recording is I feel like there's always, oh, that's interesting, that Sandra Schwarmayer bag is in the front office here. It's hanging on the wall. Nat always managed to get, like that shot is so interesting. We see the face of the person behind her. We see her hand playing. He had an attention to detail not only in the way that he created the archives, but also in the way that he's looking at people in spaces. So I'm going to take you through right there, like that shot where he doesn't react to the fact that somebody steps in front of the camera. He waits, he gets this woman's face. Just a very careful attention that's worth studying. I'm going to take you through the different way to search the archives. So this one says Pink Elephant Theater. So I'm going to see if that comes up as a title if I search Pink Elephant. So you can search by tape number. You can search by keyword. Oh, look at those people. So Pink Elephant Children's Theater, right there. It pops right up. 1985. And we can see people coming in to somewhere in Burlington. And again, like our archives are things going back to the 1980s, but they are also everything on this right-hand side. You can see what's coming up next on Town Meeting TV. And we have a whole bunch of programming, but at 8 p.m., so I guess today until 6 is the telethon. And then like this Congresswoman Becca Balint panel discussion on the future of our democracy is now part of the archives. As soon as it's recorded, it follows the same metadata standards. We add all of the title, the information, who recorded it, where it was recorded, when it was recorded, as well as keywords so that it becomes searchable. But this, like the fact that Natus is sort of like looking through, paying attention to people, recording people who are in the audience is kind of amazing. And then there's probably the performance as well. But the performance was part of what the whole event was really what was worth recording. And then the last thing I will show you is how to search via a date. So for example, if you know the Congresswoman Becca Balint panel discussion on the future of democracy happened on a certain day and you wonder if we were there and we recorded it, or you knew that there was a program recorded on 1985, March 2nd. You can also go here, and it actually tells you to do the year first, the month, and then the day. And we will find everything that was recorded on March 2nd, 1985. And there we have the puppets of Basil Milovsarov, and we can look at that program as well. So That is the CCTV archives. That's some of the CCTV archives, how to search it online, how we store it in the closet, but also why we need to preserve these archives. As I said, all of these have been digitized, but we have about 2,000 tapes left to digitize. It's about $50 a tape. We have a match. Orly and Bob Yadin, who have supported the archives for a number of years, have pledged $10,000 match. So they're hoping you will join them in supporting the archives. And I am being given the wrap-up signal. Thank you all for watching. This has been a fun little dive into the work that we do here. I will be switching over to answering the phones, 802-862-3966. You can call and tell us what CCTV means to you. You can make a pledge online, or you could just go to cctv.org/donate and make your donation there. Any amount. You don't have to split. You can match that $10,000 right now. I think we're up to about 1,000. You can match that $10,000 right now if you'd like. Or you can make a pledge of any amount, $5, $10. Recurring donations are also welcome and will go to support the archives and the work of digitizing, saving, preserving these tapes. So I'm not sure where I'm passing it to. I am gonna just say thank you very much. I am passing it off to the Rats Mission parking lot. It looks like they're setting up a pool for today in the Old North End as part of the Ramble. So take care and be well.
What is it? It's beauty.
And I wrote this script in Vermont last year, as a matter of fact, during Christmas vacation at Stowe. And we got